Abusuya makwaba about the POG political media associate JBS and I just say my Ghana political headlines in the B and I so yabo ra highway ni my so etimi aka aye de baba so my Ghana POG media so na mo so hu de echo and the eba na meshe says the name die di kai so badge media so any day and obu kwan so abejo subscription na wa share no for so answer so etimi aka na men jembre P yabo e de Ryan se manati ye de ni enso ene che yura anase ye maame Gachitokunu ne nsensem a kyese ono nso de aka akoda court na ne updates bi a kyese no so about beto highway no so kyese way back 2008 sa issue bi sa si ye ma kyese CGB etimi so dismiss no na dismiss no ono nso de na yikodan court sa ma court se ono nso betimi lose ne pension pay nam kwan ono nso fa so etimi use CJ office na when during pension age and achese ono nso the free office na when na nipa a motena asa case ne so na justice Atubaga enso kasa nkofu ko ehu bi a ode nanu disem ababetudwa afa sa issue se maami Kechitoko no former chief justice no se ono so ne fa the same process a sajaja ono so anase saj sija ono nso ekodi nsenseme ema ya no nso dismiss no abusu amere se bejebre nyabo rasa issue that's it.
It is finished. Justice Atubaga nails CJ Tokonu's coffin. Now, she was receiving a salary of about 62,000 Ghana cedis. Doctors in Ghana, the young doctors, new doctors, they receive between 11,000 and 13,000 Ghana cedis as new doctors. This is a well-established woman, well accomplished until recently when she had issues. She was supposed to retire on her salary. In other words, if she had retired without these issues, she would have had at least some 60,000 in her account every month. But many have said that she's losing all her entitlements. One justice retired, Atubaga, who everybody knows. Me and you were not there. The Supreme Court of Ghana, William Atubaga, Justice William Atubaga. He's a luminary when it comes to our law. Many people respect him. What is he saying about the Chief Justice, who has just been fired? What Supreme Court panel led by Atubaga, Sophia, Akuffo said about pension of dismissed judge? Run it. It's a long story. And when you read the story, it is interesting. In March 2008, High Court Judge Justice Edward Watson was convicted and subsequently dismissed for investing over $50,000 meant for a litigant. Hey! 2008. Following his dismissal, he filed a lawsuit in the High Court to challenge the forfeiture of his retirement package. Now, the High Court referred the case to the Supreme Court since it bordered on the Constitution, impeachment, and the gratuity enjoyed by justices of the Superior Court. In other words, it sought for interpretation of some articles of the Constitution from the Apex Court. And what happened? They went into it. In their argument, the court's lawyers for Justice Watson argued that the former High Court judge was on retirement when he was convicted, and therefore he was entitled to his retirement package notwithstanding the conviction. However, the 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, chaired by the then Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo, which had the following members: Justice Sule Baregbe, Justice William Atubaga, Justice Sophia Edinyira, Justice Jones Doche, Justice Vida Akotobamfo, and Justice Gabriel Puaman, threw out the case of the dismissed High Court judge. So he lost it all. They ruled that although retired on December 11, 2011 and convicted on July 19, 2013, he was interdicted on May 10, 2005, after he was charged with the offenses. So, dash it away. CJ Tokono, former CJ, it looks like it's over. But Justice Atubaga is still talking, right? What is he saying? He's made it clear that the right processes for removing the Chief Justice have all been tackled. And therefore, there is no issue with the Chief Justice's removal. So she has lost all her benefits. She was supposed to retire on her salary. But as it stands right now, Madam is going home with nothing. She's still fighting the case in court, but with voices like those of Justice William Atubaga. Is it not going to be interesting how this case is going to go? And Sophia Akuffo is actually in support of CJ T0rk0rn00. But in that case of Justice Boateng, what happened? They threw it out because he was, in fact, convicted. Former CJ Sophia Akuffo is not really talking about the conviction. What she's talking about is the fact that this woman, whatever it was, should not have been enough grounds for her removal. That is what she's looking at. But if she had been convicted, according to her, appropriately, she should have lost everything. But appropriately or inappropriately, it looks like there has been a conviction. And she has been sacked. So it looks like the death knell has been pronounced. And Atubaga has nailed the coffin of Gertrude T0rk0rn00. The nail has been driven into a coffin. Bam! And on that note, it's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. Former CJ T0rk0rn00 begs Mahama at last. Now, this woman called Gertrude T0rk0rn00 is coming all the way from Gomoa. Very beautiful woman. She worked so hard to be where she is. Unfortunately, according to many, she fell victim to political bias. My brother, my sister, many were those who felt that she was doing the bidding of Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo at a point. As it stands right now, she is the most pathetic legal personality in the world. She stands the chance of losing all her entitlements. In fact, as it stands right now, all she has worked and labored for as a lawyer, at the same time a legal person who has risen to the point of the Chief Justice of no other country but the gateway to Africa, Ghana. Oh my God, seriously dwindling into oblivion. She is fighting it tooth and nail. Her name is Gertrude T0rk0rn00. My brother, my sister. Now, she has been pinpointed as somebody of interest when it comes to office malpractice and at the same time, in fact, misappropriation of funds. She was found guilty. 24 allegations slapped her in her cringing brows. 3 of them succeeded. My brother, my sister, she spent money flying around the world with her husband and also with her child and paying the nation's hard-earned money to them as per diem. Now, this is Gertrude T0rk0rn00. She is the most pathetic legal person today in our country and beyond. When these issues slapped her, many people were of the opinion that she could have just at least apologized to the nation to say that, yes, There was a mistake here, there was a mistake there. But I do apologize. And I would like you to look at this matter again. But no, she flexed her legal muscles. She ran all the way to the ECOWAS court. She got some of the best lawyers to stand with her because she believed that she had a case. Even at a point when the case was dwindling, in fact, in substance, she continued to fight. There are some who believe that she could have been pardoned, and others felt that she didn't do anything wrong. But many Ghanaians do not want to see this woman. A majority of the Ghanaian populace, for a reason that is clear. She has been demonized by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo government. Ghanaians were so tired of this government for 8 solid years. Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo and his cohorts, in fact, swooped on the nation like hawks. In fact, and destroy the economy of this nation. So anything that is associated with Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo, in fact, is demonized. And this woman here was appointed in the regime of Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo. One Daniel Ofori was the one who started the whole petition. At the age of 15, Daniel Ofori already was a business boy. Not a man yet. In fact, he opened up what today is known as Whitechapel. It's an apparel outfit. He made money with it. My brother, my sister, he's into so many other businesses. He is not a...
So like Huge Media, I'm sure like now someone subscribe to a POG political media as well. Any will come for a subscription. Now we're sharing off for so answer. So it's me a Huge Media. Any belongs on the echo any the urban in our my Ghana political stream. Now wait means so I slide into the comment section or now so wait me account some or one as we doing come on a POG ever na yensu ya ma hu right na come here say a ma me get you to kono enka bra mpanyimfo tena se so ombra na so mo ka asem no kukuo mu na chese ka ono nso betimi retain anase ono nso betimi retain the benefits bia ewo as a CJ officer ka odi free ho a on the free office one can be busy any pension pay and then can always also keep no bench on also they call a year aggressive way ordinance and got that course and then a UK Bar Association near the Adenesanti and I just say Emrano and so it me no and also it's me a sunny and as a sun the benefits nina and then so a freelancer. I was say about to also 1970 word channel.
Pauper. He has cash, he has substance. He wasn't happy about the CJ and decided to go to court and get the Supreme Court to bar or to stop T0rk0rn00 from listening his case. My God. And he cited her for bias, and the Supreme Court went ahead to uphold this. And T0rk0rn00 was set aside. That was the first case of bias against this woman here from the loins of Daniel Ofori, the owner and founder of Whitechapel. My brother, my sister, the same Daniel Ofori came back again after a couple of years, still talking about bias and also some other misgivings, corruption, and some other such issues, abuse of office. She transferred a certain guy. Yes, one Francis Baden. Francis Baden, my brother, my sister, when she shouldn't have done it. There was a committee that was set up to look into the case of a worker in her outfit. He was the ITC deputy, the one in charge of ICT. I beg your pardon, ICT. My brother, my sister, Francis Baden was cited for some wrongdoing by the Chief Justice. A committee was formed that looked into it and said, you know what, there was some kind of wrongdoing, but we cannot just hold one person responsible. And for that matter, reinstate all the people and warn them. That was the decision of the committee that was set up by the Chief Justice herself to look into the case. We've talked about these already, so I don't want to sound like a broken record. I'm rushing it so you will get the full understanding of the issue. Now, when the committee that was set up to look into the issue had finished with its work, probably paid as usual with the taxpayers' money, the Chief Justice decided to step aside the committee and transfer this guy called Francis Baden to the northern region. In fact, through Tamale, he went all the way to Wa, and he was in Wa there distributing court summons and all that. An IT specialist, somebody who was one of the best IT personnel. In fact, in the judiciary, he worked as the deputy. And Madam T0rk0rn00 herself said she had enjoyed working with this man in the past before she became the CJ, and he was very affable. All of a sudden, he had become a bad nut as to how and why. The guess is as good as mine. So these were the issues Madam T0rk0rn00 got hooked on. Office malpractice, corruption, oh my God, abuse of office. And the president, by the recommendation of the council, the board, to look into the CJ's issue, was kicked out of office. Right now we are hearing that the Chief Justice is using some two very important people. We know those people, but we are not going to speak about them. My brother, my sister, a high-profile case like this, you can surely come to a certain conclusion that anybody who is playing arbitration or the arbitrator must be of some level. It must be the Otumfuo, Duncan Williams, Pastor Mensa Otabil, and some other such people, my brother, my sister. Right now, the information is that the former CJ, Madam T0rk0rn00, is running after the President of the Republic of Ghana, Mahama, and begging. What she's saying right now is that you have removed me, but please temper justice with mercy. I have worked so hard all these years to lose all my entitlements, go into retirement with absolutely nothing. It is unheard of. Now the message from the side of the president is that, but you should have said this earlier. You should have apologized for a certain kind of wrongdoing, but you flexed your legal muscles and fought it until every hope was lost. The whole Ghana has been announced to that this is the decision. How do you want the president to go back on this? Is it going to happen? Will the president do it? But what is the source of our information? Now, Abraham Amaliba is the founder of the NDC's legal team. The legal team, you can call them the legal elite or the legal council of the NDC, was founded by this guy here, Abraham Amaliba. And he is so close to the seat of power. In fact, the president even appointed him as a certain road something. Watch this. President Mahama has appointed Abraham Amaliba as the acting director general of the National Road Safety Authority. This is huge. Mahama gave him that. And this is what Amaliba is saying. In short, he says, my incontrovertible sources tell me that the former Chief Justice approached President Mahama through two eminent citizens to allow her to resign peacefully with all her entitlements, but suddenly made a U-turn and went to court over this matter. My brother, so initially, according to Amaliba, and what we also know, she initially wanted to step down peacefully so she could retire with all her entitlements. And if I tell you what is in her entitlements, you'll be shocked. Years of hard work. But her legal team decided to sidestep all this. They told her, you stand a good chance. No, don't resign. You can have two birds in your cage without even throwing a stone. You can have your job and at the same time have your entitlements. This country is a country of law. We shall fight it because you have the best legal brains. They talked to her, and she got sweet-headed and decided that, yes, let's litigate. So whilst the president was waiting for her to come out and resign peacefully, she went to the ECOWAS court, went from one court to the other. Now that she has lost everything, she has run back to the president again, said, Mr. President, what we had initially, can we have it? I want to have my entitlements. And it looks like the answer is very simple. You have fought it in court, you have lost it, and it is what it is. We cannot go back and re-establish your entitlements or reinstate your entitlements. You have been sacked. Once it is on record that you've been sacked, it is over. But in Amalebe's own words, listen to what he said. He spoke on TV3, our sister station. Watch this.
That removal to the Chief Justice. But I'm hearing from the table here that we should have tampered Justice of Mercy because she had worked for 21 years. Who said that didn't happen? Who said? When it comes to the NDC legal team, I'm an integral part. My sources, incontrovertible sources, tell me that the CJ, former CJ, approached the president.
Really?
Through some two eminent Ghanaians in this country.
The Justice Tokono?
Yes.
Approached the president?
Yes. Through two eminent Ghanaians in this country. I will not mention their names because I don't have the authority to mention their names.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe you also know.
Yeah.
Now, what was it about? To ask her to retire or resign peacefully and can take care all those things that you
entitlements.
When the presidency prepared all the necessary documents, that was when she went to court, at the Human Rights Court, and jettisoned everything.
Well, it's clear, isn't it? So she had a cake, she ate it, and she still wanted to have it, according to what we are hearing. Are you going to be part of the group that says no tears for CJ Tokono? Or the group that says, I stand with CJ Tokono? She decided to fight it. She lost it. But latest information is that she's still not giving up. She's heading to court again. My brother, my sister, after working for over 21 years with a certain kind of labor, sweat, it's very difficult to look at your entitlements just fizzle into thin air. It's the worst nightmare of every legal person or every worker. It is sad, but in the interest of our nation, in fact, it's a win for Ghana. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power.
That's it. So coming for now, but Jüdgé Media. Say POG Media. They want to Ghana authentic political headlines. POG Media. So penals. I bet me a canal for who the echo any the urban in a my Ghana political stream. I'm sure so subscribe to a POG Media. Any day and we'll go so have a drop subscription. Now I share no for so answer so at me account. But it means was slide into the comment section or now also waiting me at the uncommon na POG. Yababa na yensu ya baba be ma hu. I made that say so. Bre na ka POG on your best share.